Okay, so I'm born in Victoria, lived in Calgary for the most part of my life. When I was in high school, well, ever since I was a child, I loved art, always drawing and painting. Came out of high school and actually worked at the Artist Warehouse in Calgary, Alberta, and I was making metal sculptures at that time. Moved to Prince George, continued to make metal sculptures on my own, and supplied a gallery there and continued to work at that craft. I came back to Calgary, and a few years later, after working a little bit of a stint in construction, I started a graphic arts business, and then that worked itself into a printing business as well. From that point, I went into real estate and took on real estate for a number of years, but always kept my hand in my passion of drawing and painting and refining my skills, especially in fine drawings. In the last 10 years, my wife and I moved to Victoria, and I've been working at my art quite steadily from the time that we moved here. I'm especially interested in classical themes, Renaissance type of work. I do a lot of chiaroscuro drawings, a lot of life modeling work, and yet I have a real love of color, composition, form, texture, and all of those things. And so the very disciplined elements of anatomical drawings and portraiture and so forth has lent itself to having this more relaxed approach to my art, in which I feel I'm starting to find my own language. So I've created elements within my pieces that are probably reminiscent, I've been told, of Siebner, Picasso, Chagall, and many of those great masters in the past. And I'm a true believer that nothing is really original. We learn how to do the alphabet by copying. We learn music by practicing scales that have already come before, and then we create our own language. So in the work that I do here, this is what I refer to as contemporary expressionism, because I take the raw canvas or the raw board and essentially work out what is in my mind or what is moving me at the time. So that transfers into the type of work that we see around here in the gallery today. Just to give you an idea of a little bit of the process of some of what I'm doing. For example, this is an oil pastel that also combines Indian ink. I very much like the resist elements of the fact that oil and water do not mix. And in fact, when I was in my printing business, it was one of the things that always enthralled me, was the fact that water and oil don't mix, and that's what helped create the image on the actual printing plate and ultimately on the work that you were doing. So the the resistance of the oil versus the ink creates a very interesting texture and very interesting approach to harmonizing the work, in that you can use different forms of color, different types of chroma, and then you can draw it all together by judiciously putting in the black ink in various places. I've also done the same idea with colored inks, and so in the ground of this particular piece there's quite a bit of colored ink that is on the ground, built up with the oil pastel, and then just touched over once again with the resist of the ink, which helps to give that tension on the surface of the piece. I'm very conscious of the need for composition, and I try and utilize elements of composition that have to do with proper use of armature of the rectangle, the use of the golden mean, and of course Fibonacci number sequences that help to build up a pleasing sort of a composition. Another very important quality to my work, as far as I'm concerned, is that I work at trying to balance colors in such a way that nothing detracts or takes away from any other color, but creates a balance and harmony in the whole. I've also enjoyed the process, as you'll see in a lot of my work, of reconditioning picture frames, and this is one particular piece that was bought at auction that was in pieces and literally almost black at the time that I got it. I spent much time probably reconditioning that frame as I did actually doing the work. So it's all a creative process. I love it all. I enjoy it all. I've been doing it for many years and hope to do it for many years to come.